Right, here we are back. This has been rising now for about an hour, about 2 hours actually, I think. And this is well above where I needed it to be. There's one which has rose slightly more than the other because I did put about 30 grams more dough in one bowl than the other. Actually, to be fair, I think I forgot what Alexa said and ended up going slightly shy, and then I couldn't remember exactly what she said. So I think it was about 30 grams. So not to worry, it'll just have 30 grams between the whole thing, won't really make too much difference. So we're going to form a loaf. So I'm going to do it in two sections. I'll do the loaf first, and then we'll go at the buns. I'm just actually looking. I might use a smaller one for the loaf. Yeah, it's only 30 grams in it, so it won't make much difference. They both at the same time, but that one looks a bit less because there's a little bit less in there. So when we're doing a loaf, I'm using a loaf tin. So I'm not doing bloomers or anything like that. It's actually a tin loaf, this one. It's about 8 inches by 4 inches, the tin. It's a deepish tin. It doesn't really matter, to be fair, what tin you use. You just end up with a slightly different shape. It's more about the volume of dough for the cooking time, to be fair. So what I'm going to do is this is the top of the dough. It's looking fairly wobbly there, so that's because there's quite a lot of hydration in there. It's done its thing. It's there's a lot of air in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flour the top. I always say about not using flour, but because I'm making a loaf, it'll become apparent why we need the flour. So I'm going to tip it out, and that's coming in a big granary pillow, whatever you want to call it. And all we're going to do now is we're going to form a rectangle with it. So I'm going to kind of push degas it, as they call it, just degas it into a bit of a rectangle. And there we go. And we're not too bad there. There we go. And all I'm going to kind of do here is I'm going to measure the loaf tin. So I'm making it a little bit kind of wider than it needs to be, and that'll come apparent why. So I've got a rectangle here. I don't know, it's about 14 inches by about 8 inches or something like that, 10 inches, something like that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the tin at the bottom, and I'm just going to slightly bring the sides in there, and I'm kind of tapering it towards the top. So slightly bring the sides in there, taper it towards the top, and just flatten that down. So I've created like a bit of a seam along the side. Now all I'm doing that for now, because I'm going to roll it up back over, and this is going to go and hopefully kind of sit in the tin as an even, so I'm an even kind of entity. So I'm going to pull that and then start rolling it, just to keep it nice and tight, as you can see from the end. Just pull it and roll it, pull and roll, pull, roll, pull, roll, pull, roll, pull, roll. Just gentle. We're not going daft or anything like that. And then once we've got to that place, just dust off your excess flour and just pull the ends in just a touch. Just kind of curl them like that, curl them down, just to form that little loaf shape. And just tuck it all neatly there, and bring your loaf tin. And all we're going to do there is just bring it in, bring that shape in so it's about the right size. Like I say, till I get about the right size, all I'm doing is with either end, I'm just like chucking my fingers underneath there, just tightening it up. That's all I'm doing. We've kept it fairly tight with the ball, and once we've got it about the right shape, we're just going to drop it in the tin. There we go. And all I'm going to do is take a little scraper and just where it's sitting in the sides, just to get it nice, sitting nice and even in the tin. And there is our granary loaf, which is going to now put the hat back on, and that's going to sit there. I'll tell you what I may do, just a tad of flour over the top, just as it rises. And it's a nice soft dough to work with, actually. Till it rises, and that'll sit there for about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, and then we're going to bake that. So that's our loaf. We're going to move on to our buns. I'll keep it running. I was going to do it in 2 separate slots, but so if you're making the loaf, you can just fast forward to the next part of it. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of this now. all the flour that I've been using excess, because I don't really want all that flour there. To be fair, I might need a little bit, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to tip that out and I'm going to degas this. So again, if that wants to come out or not, it does. It's just been a little bit of a blighter coming out this one. Come on, you little tinker. Come on. Honestly, some things take coaxing sometimes, don't they? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that ball actually, because I'm going to weigh this again. And I'm just going to kind of bring it together from the underneath. So the less sticky, or the more sticky side, which was the underneath part there, I'm kind of covering that up. And then I'll just turn that over. And just make that into a little ball. And because I'm touching what was the top, it's not going to all stick to my hand or anything like that. There we go. So somewhere in here, you want to use that if you can. I'm just using this. It's fine. Brilliant. Up to now, nothing difficult. And all we're going to do is we're going to get that on, zero that, put the top part on the bottom so it comes out easier. 905. Alexa, what's 905 divided by 12?
905 divided by 12 is approximately 75.4167.
Right, so remember, 75. So we need the scales, get this back out. There we go. And we're going to measure grams 75. I've got myself a little tray, which I'll go and get. We'll put a little bit of flour on this, and that'll become apparent why we need that. It's after baking, so we can slide it off this without it sticking. So that's why we put the flour there for after it's baked. So let's get 75 grams. So what I'm going to do to make it a little bit easier to handle, I might divide it into 4. You don't have to do this. I'm just kind of doing it there so it becomes a little bit easier to handle. I'm just making some small dough balls from those. And hopefully we get somewhere near. Get somewhere near with it. There we go. It's a bit tacky, it's fine. Now all I'm going to do, let's get 75 grams on the go. 76. Hey, what about that? That was not bad to start with, was it? 75. And all I'm going to do is give me, I was going to say, give me a rough roll of my hand. Let's see, we can see if I can. Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit, yeah. It's fine. A bit sticky, it's fine. 75 grams, that'll be a bit much. That's about 75-ish. 72, hey, here we go. So we're going to go through this laborious little process that you're going to stand and watch, and you're going to say, this is going to take forever. Well, it takes as long as it takes. I tell you what, it is getting a bit sticky now, so I'm not going to try to do so much shaping in my hands, unless I just my hands with a little bit of flour, just a tiny bit, and put them in, and then that'd work, which it will, because you kind of want it in a rough ball before we do the final one. I'll just put just a tad on my hands there. Like I say, we are dealing with a bit of sticky dough, so, and as I'm actually getting into it, it is a bit more tacky. That's going to be well under size 67. Let's get on a roll here. Let's just do it. 76, 75. We should be at 75. Go on. There we go. Come on. I'm pulling it off. It's not coming off. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So let's crack on. Let's crack on. Let's get this done. 81. 71. Oh man. 73. Come on, stick on. 75, perfect. That'll do. Just get them on there. Again, like I say, it just gives you a flavour how boring this is to do. You could just put some music on, whatever. I'm just talking to you. I think you keep me better company than the radio. I don't like listening to the radio when I'm working like this, and anyway, yeah, that'll do. A bit stuck in my hand. And this is just the nature of it. This is just, I mean, imagine being a baker and they have to do like hundreds of these a day. Must be a nightmare, mustn't it? But I'm sure if you do it fast, long enough, That's 76, that'll be somewhere near. If you do it long enough, what you'll, because one of them was just slightly shy of 74. If you do it long enough, you get good at it. And like I said, this is a bit of a tacky one, so not a problem. We'll get there. We'll get there. 80, 75. Hey, bang on there. Come on. We're getting there. Next one. So like I say, I just wanted to do a different, kind of a different a batch of buns to the bread itself. Just if I'm going to do it, you kind of killing two birds with one stone, because you are you're making the batch, but you might as well see how it works with your buns as well as your loaf itself. So I just thought, you know what I mean, at some point I'll end up doing it, so I might as well just do it all at the same time. And there we are. So I've got, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll go. Let's get our number 10. 77. There we go. 73. Honestly, this is a bit harder to do. 75. Oh, it's me dog. There'll be a passerby going, honestly. She never used to bark. And then I think something spooked her. And now she's been a bit of a pain when people go past. She wants to bark at everything. And it's one of the things one of the reasons I never got a dog, because they do me head in 75. Oh, that's bang on that. So we've got our 12 little balls. Let's get rid of that now. While I listen to my dog do me head in. And I'm just going to, for ease, I'm going to actually, I'd normally leave this now, but I'm going to kind of do a little pre-shape first. A little pre-shape. Well, actually, that's not too bad. I've just dusted my hands. I'm not dusting this. I'm just dusting the top of my hands. But like I said, ideally, walk away, give yourself 10 minutes, come back, and it shouldn't be too much of a. I don't particularly like doing this, but it'll work. It's not bad. It's working. There we go. Next one. Like I say, I'd rather let it just form its own skin. Because the downside of when you start, and the reason I said about using oil early on, the downside when you start doing that, you end up with it skidding all over the place because you put too much on. Actually, these are working quite well. I was going to do the pre-shape, but I might as well just do all in one area. Right, here we go. A bit more on there again. Like I said, there's little tips and tricks you use. I don't give you them all for that reason. And if I give you them all and you say, oh, I'll just, flour, or oil, you end up overdoing it and you end up kind of worse than you started. So believe me, I've been in messes with these things, and I just think, you know what, sometimes just a bit of patience is what the trick is, what you should be doing. But we live and learn, don't we? That's part of my journey. Yeah, like I say, well, I retired a few years, well, 3.5 years ago, now 4 years this year. And I wanted to, I've always baked, because somebody was asking me the other day, like, what's your history cooking and stuff. It was really watching me mum. I mean, she was a baker. But certain things used to wind me up with my mum. Presentation wasn't one of their strong suits. I mean, she'd make me a sandwich and she'd have like one slice of bread and she'd cut it diagonally, but not in a proper diagonal. She'd kind of cut it across sort of half, but like that. And then she'd put 2 slices of the bread, those 2 slices together with a bit of cheese inside. And they had 2 points of the bread pointing like this where they didn't match up. And I used to hate it because I think, well, it's not like a sandwich because it's not neat, it's not tight. So when people talk to me about presentation, I do take a bit of care, and I think maybe it comes from things like that, or I've always had that kind of mindset where if it doesn't look right, it just kind of winds me up a bit. But that's where we are. So here we go. Enough of that. Let's just get these on the tray. So we've got 12 to do. So let's just use our little scraper, get them on there. So if you can see where I'm at, yeah. Number 1, number 2, about a centimetre between them. Number 3, beautiful. Number 4. Number 5, I like to, like I say, some of you might think, well, why do we have to see this? Well, it's just seeing the whole thing. And sometimes, you know, I've watched programmes and it's the bits that you don't see that you want to know. Well, what do you do if this happens? What do you do if that happens? So what I figured is if I just do it and something happens in the meantime, like the door's a bit sticky or whatever, you see what I do, you see what kind of what I'm, and if it happens, if I'm not saying if it happens to me, it happens to everyone, because I'm not saying that, because there's some, you know, there's a lot better people out there than me doing this, a lot better. And one of the things I find is, you know, sometimes it's a bit embarrassing doing it, because I think, well, you know, I'm doing this, and there's people who watch this who are way better than I am. But the way I figure it is, well, the only difference is I'm kind of doing a video from that perspective, and which is hopefully going to help, you know, people who you know, maybe haven't got the confidence, or you know, haven't done that before, and it just gives you a bit of a boost. So, like I keep on saying over and over again, I know there's better bakers than I am. I know there's far better, but I'm just doing it and kind of showing you. So while I'm doing it, until somebody else does it, then kind of I'll do. Well, I know there's loads of people that do, but I'm kind of doing it just to give my little spin on things. So that's it. I'm going to cover it with a bit of cling film now, and that's good as the bread, as the loaf. That's going to sit there for the next. Do you know what? I need a knife. I bought this to save cut my hands with the stuff on the top, and it had a little slider that goes on it. And what happened? I was taking out of the oven and the slider pinged off. I was dead upset. Well, not upset, but I was dead naff, because I thought, you know what? I've just paid 15 quid for that to save cut myself, and now won't even cut the thing. Anyway, you live and you learn, and that's it. So there we go. What I actually might do with that same thing, because it's a slightly tacky dough, just a slight dusting on the top, and stretch it out. You don't need to see me re-stretch it. You've seen me do that. I'll re-stretch it, and we'll come back and then we'll bake it. So that's it. That's the bread buns done. That's the things done. The loaf. We'll bake it and see what we've got at the end of it. So that's it for now. Granary attempt number 1. Next tick. Right. See you soon.